Soft light filters through the dense canopy of ancient trees, scattering shards of gold and green across the forest floor. Mist lingers among the trunks, curling around moss-covered roots and the occasional stone. A gentle bird call drifts from the distance, delicate and slow, as if the forest itself is stretching awake. Within a modest dwelling tucked seamlessly into the trees, a figure stirs. The elf healer rises slowly from a bed of woven leaves and soft furs. The quiet rustle of blankets the only sound as dawn paints the walls with warmth. Morning begins in silence. Hands press gently against the smooth wood of the table where herbs from the previous day lie, bundled and organized. The faint scent of dried lavender, thyme, and other forest plants rises into the air. In the corner, a second elf lies asleep, the soft rise and fall of their chest mirrored in the stillness of the room. No words are spoken. Instead, a small glance toward the sleeping companion carries understanding and quiet companionship. The healer walks to the small window carved into the trunk of a great oak. Fingers trace the rim as sunlight drifts across the living space. The smell of dew-laden moss drifts through the open window, mingling with the faint aroma of dried herbs. Small forest creatures stir nearby. A squirrel rustles leaves in search of early berries, and a family of birds flits among the branches. These tiny movements, almost imperceptible, bring the healer a sense of comfort and rhythm, a gentle start to the day. A morning ritual unfolds. Water from a wooden vessel is sipped slowly, cool against the lips, and hands tend to tiny indoor plants cultivated with care. Leaves are inspected, stems checked for health, and soil brushed gently with fingertips. Each movement is deliberate, calm, and unhurried. The forest outside shifts subtly with the morning breeze. The scent of wet earth and the distant murmur of a creek create a soothing background for the start of the day. As the second elf stirs, the healer prepares a simple morning tea, carefully selecting leaves and placing them into a carved wooden cup. A glance, a soft nod exchanged between the two, communicates what words would otherwise struggle to convey: a shared understanding of purpose, of living in harmony with the forest. The tea steeps, releasing its earthy aroma into the room. Each breath draws in not only the scent, but also the calm of the morning. The forest awakens gently as the two elves step beyond the threshold of their woodland dwelling. Mist curls around moss-covered roots, drifting lazily over stones and fallen leaves. Sunlight filters through the canopy, scattering fragments of gold across the ground, and the air is filled with the soft, constant hum of life. Distant bird calls, the murmur of a hidden creek, and the occasional rustle of leaves as a small creature moves cautiously through the underbrush. Every step the healer takes is deliberate, careful, as if the forest itself is a companion, observing and responding to their movements. The healer's fingers graze the moss underfoot, feeling its damp softness, and then reach for a cluster of vibrant herbs nestled in the shaded corner of the path. Each leaf is examined meticulously. Texture, scent, and vitality are considered in turn. As fingers brush the foliage, a faint, warm glow illuminates the edges of the leaves, subtle enough that only a keen observer might notice. A small hint of the forest's quiet magic. Tiny motes of light drift briefly in the morning air, catching the sunlight and drifting lazily like suspended fireflies. The companion elf follows slightly behind, moving with the same careful attention. Their eyes sweep across the forest floor, noting clusters of moss, small wildflowers, and dew-laden ferns. Occasionally, they kneel to examine a plant, brushing its leaves lightly with delicate fingers. The healer turns occasionally to offer guidance. A gentle touch on the wrist, a nod, or a whispered word, sharing the knowledge of the forest and its subtle rhythms. Words are few. The language of shared glances, gestures, and soft exhalations carries a sense of calm understanding. As they proceed, the forest thickens. Ferns arch over the path, and wildflowers bloom in scattered clusters, their scents mingling in the air. The crisp sharpness of pine, the sweet floral notes of violet, the earthy warmth of damp soil. Each herb collected is carefully inspected, crushed slightly between fingers to release aroma, and then placed gently into a woven satchel. When a particular herb is at its peak of potency, a soft shimmer appears along its leaves, curling briefly into the air before settling back into the foliage. The companion elf observes this quietly, eyes widening with calm fascination, and mimics the healer's motions, learning through slow, patient repetition. They reach a small clearing where sunlight spills across the ground in a perfect circle, illuminating patches of moss and wild herbs. The healer kneels to demonstrate a gentle method for testing a leaf, pressing it softly between fingertips. A faint golden shimmer rises from the leaf, curling slowly in the warm light. The companion elf leans closer, observing without words, absorbing the subtle enchantment of the forest. The shimmer fades as the leaf is added to the satchel, leaving behind only the faint scent of earth and vitality. The path winds alongside a clear, shallow stream. The water glints in the sunlight, smooth stones visible beneath the surface. The healer kneels at the bank, rinsing the gathered herbs gently, allowing the stream to wash away the dew and dirt. The water reacts subtly to the presence of the healer. Tiny ripples glow faintly, tracing the movement of hands as herbs are dipped and lifted. The companion elf assists, carefully arranging the herbs in the satchel to avoid crushing, and occasionally pauses to admire the smooth stones and the gentle shimmer of sunlight on the water's surface. Further along, small animals appear briefly. A foxkit pauses behind a fern, its ears twitching, observing the elves before retreating. A pair of birds flit between low branches, their wings catching the sunlight in delicate arcs. Each encounter is fleeting, adding life to the scene without breaking the calm pace. The forest feels patient, alive, and attuned to the elves' presence. Even the moss beneath their feet seems to quiver gently, as if acknowledging the quiet harmony of the moment. The healer pauses at a particularly vibrant patch of herbs, kneeling to inspect them. Fingers brush over soft leaves and petals, crushing a few slightly to release fragrance. A gentle warmth radiates from the plants, a subtle, magical response to the healer's touch. The companion elf observes carefully, occasionally imitating the motion with the guidance of the healer's hands. Words remain soft and sparse, a murmured note of encouragement, the name of a plant, or a gentle description of its qualities. Each motion reinforces the connection between the elves and the living forest around them. Sunlight climbs higher, casting shifting shadows through the dense canopy. The healer and companion elf move slowly along the winding path, pausing occasionally to examine rare herbs or particularly vibrant clusters. Each herb is collected with meticulous care, placed in the satchel with thought, and the faint shimmer of magical energy trails briefly as it leaves the ground. The forest responds subtly to their presence. Leaves sway gently, dew glimmers, and a soft hum seems to vibrate in the air, faintly perceptible to the attentive ear. A gentle slope leads to another clearing, where the forest opens slightly to reveal a patch of wildflowers bathed in sunlight. The healer kneels to gather the flowers, explaining softly to the companion elf their uses in calming teas and soothing poultices. The companion elf watches, learning the delicate balance of touch and intention, and occasionally gathers a sprig themselves, guided by the healer's patient hands. A soft glow emanates from a few flowers, a visual whisper of the forest's subtle magic, highlighting the careful, meditative attention of the elves. By midday, the elves pause near a moss-covered rock beside the stream. They arrange the herbs in the satchel for transport, checking each bundle, straightening leaves, and ensuring that none are bruised. The healer demonstrates the proper way to crush a leaf lightly, to release fragrance without damaging potency. And the companion elf mirrors the action, their hands moving slowly, reverently. The subtle glow rises briefly from the crushed leaves, spiraling into the air and fading gently, leaving only the natural scent of herbs lingering. The forest around them is alive with quiet details. Sunlight glints off droplets of dew on spiderwebs, casting tiny rainbows. A bird alights briefly on a low branch, singing a soft, lilting note. A rabbit hops across the path and disappears into the underbrush. All the while, the faint shimmer of magic continues to dance subtly in response to the healer's careful hands and thoughtful presence. The companion elf watches attentively, absorbing the patterns, the scents, and the quiet life of the forest. As they near their dwelling, the path narrows and the forest thickens once again. Each step is deliberate, and the collected herbs sway gently in the satchel, their scents blending into a calming mixture of earth, pine, and wildflowers. The healer occasionally touches a leaf, eliciting a soft glow that lingers in the morning light, and the companion elf smiles quietly, feeling the harmony between themselves, the healer and the forest. By the time the dwelling comes into view, the forest has settled into a serene calm. The gentle gurgle of the stream continues in the background. Birds call softly from the treetops, and leaves shift in the mild wind. The elves move slowly, carrying the herbs back for preparation, their motions harmonious and deliberate. The faint shimmer of magic trails behind their hands, fading as they step inside, leaving the space bathed in warm, natural light and the soothing aroma of freshly gathered herbs. Inside, they pause briefly to arrange the herbs before proceeding to the next part of the day. The companion elf watches the healer's careful movements, occasionally mimicking the placement of a sprig or the gentle crushing of a leaf. The forest outside stands still, alive yet patient, a quiet testament to the harmony and rhythm of the elves' lives, and the subtle magic that permeates the woods. Returning to their woodland dwelling, the healer and companion step inside, greeted by warm sunlight spilling through the carved wooden windows. Dust motes float lazily in the golden light, dancing across the surfaces of the freshly gathered herbs. The air is rich with the scent of earth, moss, and faintly floral notes from the morning's collection. The dwelling itself feels alive, a quiet, welcoming space that seems to respond to the healer's presence with a faint ambient hum. The healer lays out the herbs carefully on the large wooden table, sorting each bundle by purpose. Leaves for teas, roots for salves, flowers for poultices. The companion elf kneels nearby, observing and assisting, their fingers brushing lightly across the bundles to ensure none are damaged. As the healer moves among the herbs, a subtle shimmer follows their hands, a delicate glow that rises briefly from certain leaves, hinting at the forest's quiet magic. A mortar and pestle is selected, and the healer begins crushing a few leaves slowly, releasing their calming aroma. The companion elf imitates the motion, pressing lightly to avoid bruising the fragile herbs. Each grind produces a soft rhythmic sound, echoing faintly through the sunlit room, and from the crushed leaves, a gentle glow curls upward, drifting lazily in the light. The motion is meditative, a quiet rhythm that seems to stretch time, drawing attention to the textures, scents, and soft visual energy of the herbs. Next, the healer prepares a calming tea with chamomile and lavender flowers. The petals are gently crushed, releasing their fragrance, before being placed into a steaming cup of water. As steam rises, faint golden glimmers spiral upward, curling slowly in the sunlight. The companion elf leans closer, inhaling the calming aroma, and stirs the mixture slowly, releasing even more fragrance. The process is unhurried, meditative, and shared, a quiet ritual of attention and care. For a soothing poultice, the healer combines soft leaves and small roots, pressing and blending them carefully in a wooden bowl. A gentle glow emanates from the mixture, subtle enough to calm rather than dazzle. Salves are prepared with dried roots ground into fine powder and mixed with oils gathered from the surrounding woods. The resulting mixture is smooth, warm to the touch, and faintly glows when pressed between fingers. Vials are filled carefully, each shimmering softly in the sunlight. The companion elf assists in arranging the vials neatly on the shelves, appreciating the subtle magical energy infused through the careful crafting. Throughout the preparation, the healer pauses occasionally to explain the properties of specific herbs, their words slow and soft. "This leaf calms tension," they whisper. "This flower eases the mind." The companion elf nods, learning through both observation and gentle hands-on practice. There is no rush. Each gesture, each touch is deliberate, reinforcing a sense of calm and focus. By the late afternoon, all preparations are complete. Teas steep gently in cups, poultices rest under soft cloths, and vials of salves are arranged neatly on shelves. A final ritual involves sharing tea. Both elves inhale the fragrant steam, savoring the warmth and calming scent. The faint glow of magical energy threads through the herbs and rising steam, enhancing the sense of calm and deepening the connection to the forest and to each other. As the day winds down, the final inspection of herbs and remedies is performed. Poultices are covered, teas left to cool, and vials secured. A faint, lingering hum of magic fills the space, a quiet testament to the care and intention put into the preparation. The companion elf observes the glowing herbs and steaming teas, absorbing both the techniques and the calm, deliberate rhythm of the healer's work. For a long moment they sit together, enveloped in the warmth, scents, and subtle magical glow, completing the day's meditative routine and settling into quiet reflection. The sun begins to lower behind the forest canopy, brushing the treetops with golden light that stretches long, soft shadows across the forest floor. Birds' calls fade into the evening, replaced by the gentle rustle of leaves and the quiet stirrings of nocturnal creatures. The healer and their companion move along the familiar path to their dwelling, the forest air cool and fragrant with moss, earth, and lingering floral scents. A sense of calm surrounds them, the subtle hum of the forest blending with the soft rhythm of their footsteps. Upon entering the dwelling, the warm glow of the late afternoon sun illuminates the room. Dust motes float lazily in the light, some shimmering faintly as if stirred by a quiet, lingering magic. The healer begins organizing the day's work. Poultices are covered with soft cloths, teas left to steep gently, and vials of salves arranged neatly on wooden shelves. A faint glow lingers from the freshly prepared remedies, curling in the air before fading. The companion elf assists carefully, moving with gentle precision, learning the rhythm of mindful organization and reflection. A small fire is kindled in the hearth, casting a warm, flickering light across the room. The gentle crackle of wood blends with the soft hum of magical energy that seems to linger in the space, subtle and calming. The healer prepares a modest meal using forest ingredients, roasted roots, fresh greens, and foraged berries, while the companion elf assists quietly, carrying steaming cups of herb-infused water. Their movements are slow and deliberate, the soft clinks of wooden utensils and quiet sips filling the room with gentle, meditative sounds. Conversation is minimal and serene, soft observations spoken with measured care. "The evening light through the oaks is gentle tonight," whispers the healer, eyes tracing the fading sunlight filtering through the branches. The companion elf nods, absorbing the words and the shifting shadows outside. A faint magical pulse seems to flow in response, a quiet acknowledgement of the harmony between the forest, the dwelling, and the elves within. After the meal, the healer retrieves a small bundle of herbs, inspecting them carefully before placing them near the hearth to dry overnight. Each leaf seems to glow faintly as it is set in place, a gentle shimmer curling upward before fading. The companion elf watches attentively, hands folded, observing the subtle rhythm of care and intention. Every motion, slow and precise, reinforces the calm, immersive atmosphere. The healer then prepares a final cup of tea, chamomile and lavender flowers steeping in hot water. Steam rises in delicate spirals, shimmering softly in the amber light. The companion elf leans close, inhaling the scent, feeling the warmth settle within. Together they watch the forest shift into dusk. Fireflies begin to blink softly, dew collects on leaves, and distant nocturnal creatures stir. The faint magical energy in the dwelling responds to these motions, weaving through the air as subtle glimmers among the herbs and steam. Once the tea ritual concludes, the healer retrieves a small journal, recording notes on plant properties, observations of the forest, and subtle magical effects experienced during the day. The companion elf observes, occasionally adding sketches or notes under the healer's guidance. Each stroke of pen, each careful observation, reinforces the deliberate, reflective nature of their evening. As twilight deepens, the elves wash their hands in a small basin of warm water, the gentle splash mixing with the faint scent of herbs and the cool air drifting through an open window. The healer and companion arrange their sleeping area, a cozy alcove lined with soft furs and woven mats. Finally, the elves lie down in their resting area, side by side on the furs. The firelight casts soft, flickering shadows across the walls, mingling with the subtle shimmer of herbs and the faint ambient glow in the room. The air carries the scent of dried herbs, damp earth, and the lingering warmth of the fire. The healer adjusts a final herb nearby, ensuring its glow does not disturb the peaceful rhythm. Outside, the forest has shifted fully into night. Fireflies blink among ferns, nocturnal creatures move quietly through the underbrush, and a faint, ambient hum of magic resonates in response to the elves' careful attention throughout the day. The dwelling feels like a cocoon, safe, serene, and full of gentle energy. Every sound, the crackle of the fire, soft rustling of leaves, faint bubbling of a teacup, contributes to a calm, meditative rhythm. A deep sense of completion settles over both, a quiet acknowledgement of the harmony of the day and the serenity of the forest at night. The fire dies down to gentle embers, casting long, fading shadows. Herbs shimmer faintly in the last light, and the room grows still. The elves remain in quiet reflection for a few more moments, enveloped in warmth, scent, and the soft magical energy of their space. Then, as the forest outside whispers its lullaby, the elves drift into peaceful rest, the dwelling a sanctuary of calm, reflection, and subtle magic, the perfect end to a day of care, connection, and harmony. The fire has settled into soft, glowing embers, and the dwelling is filled with the gentle warmth of the fading light. The healer and their companion sit quietly, enveloped by the calm of the forest night. Faint magical shimmer lingers on herbs and vials, curling softly in the air before fading completely. Outside, fireflies blink among ferns, leaves rustle in a gentle breeze, and distant nocturnal creatures stir, adding to the peaceful rhythm of the evening. The forest beyond seems to breathe in harmony with the dwelling, each sound and shimmer enhancing the tranquil atmosphere. Stars begin to appear in the sky above, twinkling faintly through the branches. The healer breathes slowly, savoring the cool evening air and the quiet pulse of the forest around them. In this serene space, the day comes to a gentle close, ready to carry the elves into calm, restful sleep, wrapped in warmth, subtle magic, and the quiet harmony of the forest night.